Last Friday night, as is tradition, my friends and I gathered around the rickety old table in my basement for our weekly poker game. It's a modest affair, more about the banter and the pizza than the cards themselves. We were a motley crew: Dave, the eternal optimist who somehow always loses, Sarah, who talks a big game but folds at the first sign of trouble, and Mike, the reigning champion with a poker face like granite. This week, however, we had an unexpected guest, Whiskers, my cat, who had taken an unusual interest in our game night. Normally, she'd be off chasing shadows or napping, but tonight she was eyeing us with a peculiar intensity, her tail flicking with what could only be described as feline anticipation. The first few hands were standard fare, with the usual teasing and jabs flying across the table. But as the night wore on, Whiskers began to inch closer, eventually hopping onto the table with all the nonchalance of a seasoned player. We laughed it off, thinking she was just after the pile of chips that had begun to accumulate in front of Mike. But when Sarah jokingly dealt her in, things took a turn for the bizarre. Whiskers, with a paw so gentle it could have been dealing with a Fabergé egg, rearranged her cards and looked at us with what we could only assume was a poker face for the ages. The room fell silent save for the crunch of a rogue pizza crust underfoot as Whiskers, with a swiftness that belied her usual laziness, played her hand. We all leaned in, trying to decipher the mystery before us. When it came time to reveal, Whiskers calmly laid down a royal flush. Dave spat out his drink, Sarah's jaw dropped so low it nearly hit the table, and Mike, the unshakable champion, was left blinking in disbelief. The room erupted in laughter, each of us trying to comprehend the absurdity of being bested by a four-legged furball. As the night drew to a close and we counted our losses, Whiskers surveyed her winnings, a mountain of chips, a few dollar bills, and one rather embarrassed reigning champ. It seemed our feline friend had a knack for the game after all. As we packed up, still chuckling over the night's events, Mike shook his head and said, "Well, I guess we found out why they call it a cat and mouse game."